Virginia was a whirlwind. From the outside looking in, you might assume this was some sort of overnight victory. Judging by the headlines, it certainly appeared that way.
Tell us what happened.
Mark, it was a great day in West Virginia. A lot of years coming, a lot of hard fighting by the grassroots.
But beyond the headlines, beyond the rapidity with which this seemed to breeze through the state legislature, there was actually so much more to this story. Years in the making. This is the story of West Virginia.
I stand in support of HCR 31, calling for a convention of states.
Question is on adoption of the resolution. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the resolution adopted.
Convention of States had just come out of what felt like a season of droughts. We hadn't passed in any new states since 2019, but then all of a sudden in early 2022, the dam just broke.
We had a banner week for Convention of States, lots of movement, lots of momentum.
We have had the pass of number 16, Wisconsin, number 17, Nebraska.
Today we had an incredible victory. The Wisconsin Senate voted and passed the Convention of States resolution. We had already passed the Assembly.
There's 17 ayes, 15 noes. The resolution is concurred, and the clerk will read the next resolution.
We had what felt like a ceaseless string of victories beginning in Wisconsin, and then 3 days later, Nebraska, and then West Virginia. And then just a few weeks after that, South Carolina. And suddenly we had all of this momentum going for us. It was pretty great. Okay, but hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself.
The Convention of States.
Convention of States.
Convention of States.
Convention of States.
Convention of States is a nationwide grassroots movement which aims to use Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution to limit federal power, spending, and terms of office. Sort of just general areas of bipartisan reform that everyone agrees needs to happen. The founders actually meant for Article 5 to be one of the many checks and balances against federal power, but for some reason, we've never used this one. When I say we passed in Wisconsin or whatever it is, really, I'm referring to the fact that under the Constitution, we need 34 states to make this happen. So when a state passes our resolution, they're basically saying we consent to using Article 5 for federal reform. We want to see this happen. So back to 2022. Right in the middle of all this activity and all these groundbreaking victories, the Mountain State comes up.
Who thinks that the federal government, the Congress, is going to police itself? I'm fired up.
On the morning of March 4th, 2022, our resolution appeared before the West Virginia House in Charleston, which passed the bill on a bipartisan vote of 77 to 19 for not voting. Then the president of the Senate physically came over, picked up our bill, took it to his chamber, where it passed less than 1 hour later.
The question is on adoption of the resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the resolution adopted.
And just like that, we have a state number 18, and it's West Virginia. I've got my West Virginia flag right here to celebrate. Go Mountaineers.
And just to clarify, that doesn't normally happen. Bills don't usually pass within both chambers on the same day, let alone within the same hour. So I guess we got lucky, except that's not the full story. It leaves out several of the most important details, including the fact that at this point, the West Virginia team has been working for several years to make this happen, nearly a decade. They have over 19,000 petitions within the states, which is just an incredible testimony to the hard work and dedication of the grassroots activists. I had the opportunity to speak with Barbara Thomas, State Grassroots Coordinator for West Virginia, and the story she shared was truly inspiring.
Well, to start with, I have to give super kudos to our then legislative liaison, Jay Taylor. We called him our COS Energizer Bunny. That man knew where every legislator was going to be when he came out of every single office, every meeting. He knew exactly where to get the grassroots in order for them to be most effective. All right. But it took, and he joined Convention of States, I believe, in 2013 and started working with the legislature. And we had countless committee failures, and we had a lot of personal challenges that come up with every team. I'm sure it's not easy, even though when March 2022 happened, we were all flabbergasted. We just went, whoa! We were as amazed as the whole rest of the country was. But up until that hour and a half from the House to the Senate, it was 8.5 years, 9 years maybe.
The story of how West Virginia passed the Convention of States resolution is thrilling and exciting and impactful, but it's also a reminder of just how hard our grassroots work. Often it may feel like nothing's happening, like we aren't making any progress, but behind the scenes, the grassroots are working every single day to make the Article 5 convention a reality. It may take years to pull off, but the West Virginia team proves that when you stick with it, victory is possible. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Success only comes to those who are willing to put in the blood, toil, sweat, and tears. 24/7, 365, our grassroots in West Virginia are an excellent example of exactly that.
Just remember, it's a team, and the team wants to hear from you and work with you, and they need you.
We've been at this consistently without giving up for 9 years. So I want you to remember that when we're frustrated about what's going on, when things don't look like they're going to work. I'm really proud of the history and how long that team has stood strong. God's always in it, and you never know why he does what he does, but all glory to God, really.
I have 4 children and 15 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. I am doing it for them. So, and that don't give up and pray. Pray constantly for every decision. Pray for in everything that you try to do. Pray, because God can do this.